I can go months at a time without seeing my friends and be fine. And I'm wondering if anyone can relate to that feeling. That's what I want to talk about. I don't know whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just the way I've always been. And I've noticed this, so I want to share it. We hear a lot today about the loneliness epidemic, how people are becoming more lonely and more isolated and more atomized. It's not a feeling that I really relate to on an intimate level. Like, for instance, for the past month or so, a bunch of my friends went to the USA to participate in this anti AI boot camp thing, compound slash summer camp slash vacation slash mentorship slash whatever you want to call it. And I didn't really text much. I didn't really keep in touch. But then they all came back and we hung out and it was fine. But during that month, it wasn't necessarily that I was like, oh, I miss them. Oh, I want to be around them. And there wasn't really much of a FOMO to it. But I just felt fine. When they weren't there, there wasn't like a sort of longing to be amongst friends. I don't know why I'm like this. Most people get lonely. They desire to be around other people. They like other people's company. And I do too. When I'm around my friends, when I'm around people that I enjoy being around, I like their company. I like being around them. But when I'm not around them, I don't necessarily feel that incentive to go out of my way to be with them. When it comes to texting, I'm not that big of a texter. When it comes to keeping up with what other people are doing, yeah, sure, I'll follow them on social media and sort of like keep tabs on stuff. Like when I'm by myself, I'm fine. I feel fine. I don't feel any sort of longing towards other people or wanting to be around other people. But when I'm around other people, I like being around other people. I enjoy that. It's just getting from the isolation moment to the moment when I'm with them. That's sort of like the hard part for me. And there's no kind of like incentive, the reward I get from it. Like it feels fine. For me, it feels the same as if I'm doing something by myself, if I'm doing something personally rewarding, I enjoy that, but I also enjoy the company of other people. So I sort of began to drift. And I think a lot of this has to do with sort of going through depression in my mid to late 20s. I think that's a key factor. But now that I'm out of that and I'm sort of like in a better place now, I still don't have that sort of incentive to really go out of my way to hang out or invite people to do things or to go out. I get very wrapped up in my own personal projects, in my own personal world, that I tend to forget about friends and doing things. And yeah, I'm invited out to social events. I'm invited out to hang out and do stuff. And sometimes I hang out, I ask people to hang out as well, but it's not really a thing I do out of desperation or isolation or feeling lonely. It's just the thing where I'm like, oh, I'm kind of bored. I want to do something. And I don't know if that is normal. I think this has a lot to do with childhood experiences. When I was growing up, I didn't have many friends. I was bullied and I had my family. I had siblings that were sort of like my emotional foundation and people I could hang out with and relate to. But beyond that, friends was not something I had until high school. When I started to break out of my shell a little, I went to a Young Judea summer camp in Nova Scotia, and I made a lot of friends there, but I would not see these friends during the year in which I was back at Toronto, which is ironic because a bunch of them lived in Toronto, but we just never see each other. So every summer, we would literally catch up on a year of just missed friendships, and we would just get along and it would be fine. And during the year in which I was at school, I never really missed these friends. I had my school friends, the very few ones that I did have. I had my camp friends, and they just were sort of separate categories of friends. And during the entire year, I never really missed them or thought of them. And when I went back in that situation, they were like, oh, we're friends again. Hooray. That was great. And I think that sort of stuck with me throughout life because when I'm not in the sort of the friendship situation, when I'm not in proximity to other people, I never really feel sort of like a drive to go towards being with other people. It's one thing that I'm still, I wouldn't say I'm uncomfortable with. It's one of those things where like I never had the sort of reward feedback for, putting myself out and hanging out and making plans and being with friends. It all felt kind of the same to me. And while it is enjoyable to be around people, I get the same sort of emotional fulfillment from doing personal projects or doing something on my own or, reading a book. Reading a book. It's the same as being with friends. I don't necessarily know if that's just general life apathy. I enjoy hanging out and being around people, being around my friends. I love my friends, but like I see them when I see them, and I am around them when I'm around them. And when I'm not around them, I don't necessarily feel that pull to wanting to be with them. There's almost like a separation there. And I don't know if this is something that I never learned properly, or I wasn't socialized properly in a way, or it's just the way my brain chemistry is or works. Because when I think about hanging out, friends, people I care about, it's always fun. It's always enjoyable. Hang out, you have good conversations. It enriches you. It fuels your zest for life. But when you're not in that, it's like, it's okay. It's fine. So I've gone through a lot of different friend groups throughout my life, be it high school, university, clubs, online groups, work functions, etc. Every time I've gone through that, I'm able to make friends and maintain friendships. But I've never really had that inner drive to really seek out friends or to cultivate and maintain those friendships after longer periods of time. I think there's a level of comfort because I've been in and out of many different friends groups growing up. Just being able to rebuild friendships, go into different social situations, being able to mingle and vibe and hang out and sort of build that over and over and over again, because you're able to rebuild that again. It creates this comfort in a way where you realize that if you lose friendships or if you drift away from certain friends, it's okay because you can always rebuild them with different people later. And the world is an infinite pool of people. But the limitation with that thought is that you should care about the people that you are with and the friendships that you've built. But for me, I've always never had that kind of drive to really, maintain those friendships. I think part of it is also the novelty of meeting new people, and it's exciting to become part of a new friend group and see the dynamics unfold in front of you. I remember first day or the first couple of weeks of university when it's frosh week, and you could just go to parties and meet all these different people and all these different friends, and like it's exciting, and you can meet like all these cool guys and some girls, and it's awesome. And then sometimes you make some friends like one semester, and like you go to different classes and you meet different groups of people and you make different friends that way. It's exciting. I think I enjoy kind of the novelty seeking aspect of, meeting new people. But there is also value in the comfort of the familiar, in having a group of solid people that you can rely on, having a solid group of friends that you can rely on. I've had both throughout my life, and it's rather simple to maintain friendships. It's a matter of proximity, and it's a matter of reaching out and making plans to do things and showing that incentive, even if people don't necessarily reciprocate it back. I hear a lot about people who complain about how people never really reach out to them, or they never ever hear from, their friend groups or whatever. But it's like, hey, it goes both ways. You have to, if you want that level of interest, sometimes you got to put yourself out there in order to get that level of interest back. A lot of it is proximity, being close to people, having that familiarity, building that rapport. Eventually you get a good dynamic going. It's very simple stuff. And these are skills, these are things I know how to do intuitively, but emotionally, I don't feel that connection to it. Even though I know rationally, this is what you do, this is how you build and maintain friendships throughout your life, I've just never done that. And I don't know if this is a character flaw or if this is just the way my brain works. Like throughout my life, I've had some really good friends. I've had some best friends. I've had people who I've shared intimate details about myself, and they shared intimate details about their life with me. We've laughed, we've loved, we've had good times. Those are gone. And it's not that I feel regrets. It's not that I feel like, oh, the lost times, they're not here anymore. It's more of a feeling of that's just the way life is. That's just how it goes sometimes. People drift, people grow apart, people get busy with their lives, people, life. People are complicated, and that's fine. I guess I'm making this because I want to see if anybody relates to this feeling of, not being around other people, but still feeling okay, feeling fine. I feel fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. Do you relate? I'm trying something new with this channel. I'm trying to riff. We'll try. Let's try.
Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.